And we're back with some more Dyson Sphere Program. And today we're going to get all the sciences done. Well, we're going to boot up all 5 of them at the same time. But before we do that, there's one thing I want to cover. I didn't realize you can do this. You can just click on a belt and then just vacuum the stuff off it. You can just hold the button and see we're actually removing the silicone from the line. That's actually kind of awesome. I didn't realize you could snort stuff off the lines like you could in Factorio, but yes, you can. You could also put stuff onto belts as well. So if we had some glass, let's say, we could chuck on here. It's a bit awkward. You have to basically open your inventory, grab the glass out of it, then click on the belt, and then you can say, drop the glass on. And there we go. We've dumped all of our glass onto the line. Just a way to dump stuff into and out of the system. Kind of nice. Anyway, where are we? Yes, science. To do up our science, we're going to try something, well, a little different. We're going to use the regular planetary logistic stations, because they only, well, the main benefits of these is you can stick them much closer together. If you get the interstellar logistic stations, you'll notice we stick down one there. The next closest one we can get is, yeah, right there. So in about this, you can fit twice as many of the planetary ones. Oh, damn it, where is it? Right, come on. Yep. You can fit about twice as many planetary ones in the same space as you can fit interstellar ones. Just makes things, well, more compact. Namely because all of the sciences here, they only require 2 components. So that's it. Like, if you look at all of these, they only require 2 components apiece. We have all those components built into our grid. So why bother wasting the interstellar logistic stations? We'll just have them as local requesters and build out some science labs on top of them. Should be fairly straightforward. I suppose we'll start with, actually, let's start with the hardest science and work our way back. Why not? That way we can start spending power. Let's see, where is it? Yeah, our power grid, if I can click on one of these, is at 70% load or whatever. We're going to max this out at some point until we get the Dyson Sphere up. So let's get the difficult sciences out of the way with the most energy intensive ones. I just looked at the calculator. Green science, which is the one we're going to do over here, takes 50 science labs. Okay, so 50 science labs then. So we managed to squeeze in the 50 labs. All we had to do was, yeah, wait, there we go. They're like 13 stories high. Well, we got a couple of extra labs, but I wasn't going to leave it short. We wanted to keep it nice and even. Plus, we'll need the extra ones because we're going to turn some of these into warpers. You can use that. This is a much more efficient way, it's been pointed out to me, to make warpers. So I think we'll be using that in future. But first, we've got to bring in the supplies. So, yep, we're going to have you demand, and we're going to have you demand. And there they go. Why is... I don't have lenses on the bus. Oh my god. 2 seconds, please. There we go. Yes, my pretty. Start to load up. Now, it'll take a while for it to really max out. The reason being, we just sort of started the gravitational lenses. Turns out that was one thing I was a little bit short on last episode. I kind of forgot about those. I'm sure there's a couple of things I've forgotten about along the way, but there shouldn't be that many. So we've extended the gravitational lens production. It goes down here. We're still making warpers for now because we don't have an alternative just yet. But the excess lenses go down here and get stuck into that. We're going to have to upgrade, of course, these in a bit, but that should at least get us started on the science. Nice. Also, that's going to start spiking our power needs right about now. How's our power looking? Oof. Yep. We're getting... Yep. That's just with green on. Wait until we start maxing out the other ones. That's going to get super interesting. Alright, next up, we've done green. What's the next science? Purple science is up next, and for purple science, we are going to need 42. Yeah, Jesus, I didn't realize we were going to need that many science labs. We must have been going very slowly before in the science research. 42 of these it is. We'll put you, we'll keep you in line. Why not? Make it nice and neat. Next up, purple science, or whatever the hell they want to call it. I don't know. I'm not going to memorize the names. It's purple science to me. Processors and particle broadband, that goes in, and the tower starts to light up. Excellent. Can we actually feed it fast enough is the question. I think those inserters should be able to keep up. We might have to mess with it though if we want to keep... I've stacked 11 labs on top of each other. Well, we seem to be stripping all the resources off, so I'm going to assume that is working. It can only get, what, 250 science per... Yeah, there's plenty of throughput there. There we go. It's almost all the way up to the top. Nice. Okay, so this can support them all the way up. That is fine. Next up, what's the next science? Oh wait, let's have a quick check on power. Power is probably going to be interesting. Ooh, okay, that weird flickering. You know what? Not going to worry about it. Not going to worry about it. Next, for yellow science here, we were missing titanium crystals. I never put them on the bus. We had the organic crystals, we had the titanium, we just never actually put the titanium crystals together. So, put out a little facility to do that, and then it's being dumped over here. Of course, it's a little bit slow. because, yeah, we're at 68% of the power requirements. Maybe, yeah, we're going to need a lot more power. But for now, it's fine. I don't care if we're a little bit underpowered. Let's add on the diamond there onto the belt. And then we'll start getting yellow science produced. Perfect. And why are... Oh, I didn't put an exits on this, did I? There we go. Beautiful glowing science. Alright, red science. This should be, well, pretty straightforward. We need 25 of these, so that's 2 stacks of 13. That's 26. I'm not going to make them uneven, so yeah, there we go. Nice. All we've got to do is feed on the resources, and this stuff, we're getting down to the low end things here, so it's just a little bit of hydrogen, a little bit of hydrocarbon, or what's it called? Energetic graphite, and done. Whole thing starts to glow. However, how's our power needs looking? Oh, yep, definitely not good. Do I have to go make some more labs? Oh my god, I think we have to make some more labs. We're going to need about 13 for the blue labs. That should be fairly straightforward. Once that's done, though, we're going to need a whole bunch of science labs to consume all of this, and an awful lot more power to make it all run. Oh, Jesus. There goes blue science. We have 13 labs of them stacked on top of each other, which is exactly what we need. In fact, there's all the sciences in a row. Jesus, they take up a lot of space. I thought 250 per minute would be pretty low down, or not really this complicated or require this much infrastructure, but I maybe should have done the math a bit better. Never mind. What we're going to do on the opposite side of this, we're going to stick all 5 sciences into one tower and then run them out into a bunch of labs. Namely because that way we can export the science later if we need to, and if we don't, at least access storage. Can't be that harmful. So let's just grab one of these suckers and plop it down somewhere centralized. Yeah, there's about fine. I'm sure this will totally work out. Probably. There we go. An entire rainbow of science all into one tower, which we should probably stock up with chips. I'm sure I've got some on me. Yep, we totally do. Perfect. Alright, all stocked up. In that case, let's just run them out the other side and straight into a bunch of labs. And power is looking at... Oh yeah, we're almost at the 50% satisfaction mark. Yes, so low. Alright, let's stack some labs over here. We're going to need space for 5 belts. Ooh, actually, we'll probably put the belts down, put it down this side then. If we put it right here... Actually, let me think. I want to make this nice and neat, if possible. Finally, we are set up and good to go. We've already queued up the research for Dyson Sphere stress system, so we can expand the Dyson Sphere. We're also going to need to put solar sails and things in, but no, that's fine. We'll just start with green, and purple, and orange, and what was the last one? Oh, red and blue. And blue. Done. Oh, yeah, we should probably set this up to do science. Research, please. There we go. It'll take a little bit of time to fill up, plus the science is not going to be that fast considering our power satisfaction is really, really low. And once we start expanding on the Dyson Sphere, it's going to get even worse. Currently, our Dyson Sphere is more of a sort of a circular belt. I'm not sure if we can put solar sails in between there just yet. I'm waiting until we can expand the Dyson Sphere. Where is it? Yeah, until we can expand it up a layer, and then we can sort of fill in those squares with solar sails, giving us more power. But for now, the rainbow has started. Where are you at? Yeah, slowly but surely it's filling up. Nice. Alright, in that case, we should... Ooh, that is actually going very fast. We should start getting ready for solar sail production. Well, actually, no. We'll get ready for launching the last of the Dyson Sphere stuff, and then we'll get ready for solar sail production. There it is. There's our launch silos. While we're waiting for our science to catch up, I thought we'd try and supplement our power a little bit by throwing some solar sails into space. Now, we can only do this... This is not exactly the perfect setup, but it should at least get us started. How do we manage this? To get this started, we made ourselves a little bit of a Dyson swarm. Where is it? We configured a Dyson swarm to, well, be right beside this. I'm just curious if it's going to... Do they actually sit into it? No, they're just going to sit there and fall away, are they? Who knows? You know what? I think I'm going to leave them there. See what happens. We might as well start launching them. It can't hurt. It'll give us at least a little bit of extra power. So you, start Dyson swarming it up if you wouldn't mind. You can go to orbit 2, orbit 2, orbit 2, and orbit 2. That should slowly start increasing our power, while also draining an enormous amount to keep all those guns firing. Oh wait, coming up at nighttime. Well, tomorrow. Tomorrow they'll kick in. And, oh, we've also completed our Dyson Sphere research. No, that means we can start actually expanding this sucker. Give me rail 2. Yes. What the... Alright, so let's put one there. One there. Nope. That was a bad one. I didn't mean to do that. Perfect. this should slowly start increasing our power. And oh my god, my mouse clicks are terrible. Okay, let's skip this forward until we've got the whole ring done. Actually, I think that's plenty. We've got 4 of them there, or we've got more than enough to actually start holding sails. These 4 corner points, once they're finished, will give us somewhere to actually stick our Dyson sails in, and they should remain permanently. With that started, I think I can go grab a cuppa while this all spins up. Our science will, of course, load up in the background. I think our next thing we want to do with that one is probably mining efficiency. Yeah, mining efficiency will definitely be a big boon. It'll keep us going for longer. That's under upgrade section down here. Where are we? Research speed, no thank you. Vein utilization, yes. Minus 6% ore consumed plus 10% to mining speed. Thank you very much. We'll probably get into this, well, later. Let's skip forward a T or 2 and see what happens. Starting to get a framework together. We have to make a few changes, but we'll go over those in a bit. Let's see how much power it gets us up to. We're at 83.8 megawatts. The solar cells have not started soaking into the frames just yet, but I think that's because we haven't completed these squares. Once we get those completed, the solar cells should start taking up permanent residence. We're up to about 94 megawatts, and this node here is almost done. It's at 69. It's got 1 left of 70, so there's 1 ship on the way, and once that hits, that node should be completed. And wow, it's really unintuitive how you rotate this around. So once that's in, that should be the node completed. I wonder, is that the point that the solar sails can start slotting in there? Let's see. Alright, done, and done. We might have to retarget the guns, but I think, yeah, that node's actually completed. Perfect. Well, okay, we still got to complete a whole bunch more. I wish I had started smaller, but now I'm not going to reverse it. I could start deleting these, but you know what? We've wasted enough resources on them. I'm not bothered. Let's see if we can't target the guns at something a little bit different. Is there some other way to target these? After way too long, we've managed to get ourselves up at 1 full grid. There's 70 to 70 in that, 70 to 70, this one's 90 to 90, this one's 90 to 90, so they're all complete. So we are going to start filling these all in. Why not? That way we should actually have solar sails fired in there, and those solar sails should, well, stay there permanently. Let's start the game running again. I like to pause it when I'm in here.
The Dyson shell planning.
Once the nodes and frames are done, blah blah. We'll put solar sails to use automatically. Okay. Well, time to start firing the guns again. I turned off the guns for a bit so that we'd, well, have time. Let's see, you go ahead, and you can also go ahead. All of you can start firing again. Now let's actually see where they're going. Come on, where are you firing them? I can't actually... Oh, they're still way over here somewhere. I'm hopeful that this will start working in a minute, but yeah, give me a few minutes to see what's happening. Well, isn't this fun? We seem to have... The sails seem to be doing some weird swarming thing where they're all just flying around on the outsides. I think it's working, but I suppose we'll find out soon enough. If you look from a distance, you can see that all of the cells seem to be sort of swarming towards that location there, the one where the actual panels are. But you can see them, they're all sort of generally heading in that direction, like gravity is slowly pulling them there. That's actually a pretty awesome effect. And we can't really see visually what's happening just yet. Maybe if we go out of development mode. Let's see. 1 second. Oh yeah, you can see them actually streaming into the actual nodes themselves there. You can see the actual string of sails. That's cool. Now, I know I could have looked all of this up beforehand. There's plenty of videos out there on this now, but I kind of like on my first playthrough of a game just to do it myself, figure things out as you go. I know I'll do some things rather inefficiently and there's better ways to be doing things, but I prefer to figure it out myself first time round. Next time I'll plan a little bit better and I'll see what other people are doing and steal their ideas as to combine with them. That is actually pretty cool. You got to give it to them when they designed this. They really knew how to make it pretty. Yeah, that should start cranking up our power. Power is what we need to fire more of these into space, to get more power to fire more of these into space. While we are waiting for this, well, partial Dyson Sphere to finish, we'll get along with some side projects. I expanded this a little bit, but I'm also going to research ray efficiency. This ray transmission efficiency should increase the amount of power we're getting out of the Dyson Sphere that's already partially completed. What are we getting? We're at 655 megawatts inbound at the moment, and once that tech completes, it should help us out. Also, to help out with our power, to help us just get there a little bit faster, I threw in a whole bunch of chemical little power plants here, these thermal power stations, and we're throwing them in a whole bunch of crude oil, because why not? We have lots of crude oil coming in, and it is an infinite supply of stuff, so let's just dump it into these to, well, make power. Why not? I think we'll I'm going to go grab a cup of tea, let this sucker finish off. I think we're actually producing less ships than we're firing, but we've got such a stockpile of ships in the background. I think, what, we got 2,000 in storage. We haven't actually really chewed into our storage supply. Also, when it comes to solar cells, yeah, we maybe stockpile 10,000 of them, so, yeah, I think we'll be good for a while longer. Anyway, let's skip forward a bit and see what happens to our power up here. I'm really curious to see what happens when the ray efficiency completes. Actually, let's check that out. As our research is about to complete, we're at 683 megawatts, well, 82. And then, ugh, that barely did anything. It put us up about 3 megawatts. It might take a moment. No, it doesn't seem to have made a difference. Okay, that was very disappointing. It might take a while for these things over here to actually kick in and notice the difference. What are they at? You're producing 6.82. Ugh, it's actually going down. Things have been going well. We're building up our resource. Well, we're building up our power supply. Unfortunately, we've encountered a minor issue. Minor issue is we've sort of run out of silicone. Well, we're running out. Soon we're not going to have enough left to continue. So instead, what we're going to do is we're going to pop over here to this nearby system, which has silicone and a few other nice resources. Also happens to contain a black hole, so kind of interested to see what's down here. What is that right there? What are you? You are... Yep, you're a planet. Quick. Target it. Whew. What kind of planetary system have you got to deal with? Wait, there's one system? Okay. So, we have a black hole and all of this gunk. Was kind of hoping for more. Oh, unipolar magnets. Nice. Fire crystal optical grip. Yeah, we'll put down a few mines here. Why not? And lo and behold, the black hole rises in the east, or whatever direction that is. I don't care. Someone's been watching. Oh, damn it! What was it called? Oh, that one with McConaughey. Interstellar? Yeah, I want to say Interstellar. That looks disturbingly like the image from that. They did use a computer simulator to do it, so yeah, okay, I suppose. Good idea to see that from the people who knew what they were doing. At the same time, are we fully recharged? Yeah, I probably should have brought more with us charging stations. We are loaded up on solar panels, so we could do a quick solar belt around the planet. Now that we have a power belt down, we're just going to throw down a bunch of collectors. Interstellar logistic stations, bunch of ships to go with them. Actually, we don't really need the ships, do we? Yeah, never mind. Live and you learn. Well, we're going to collect everything this planet has to offer, which happens to include fire ice, optical grading crystals, unipolar magnets, and all the silicon. We'll start with the silicon first, though. And there is 2 silicon facilities installed. They're basically identical, just one on each side. We've got a power belt down the middle to power the entire place. And now that we've got those 2 tapped into, that should... Oh, wait, yeah, we're not on our Dyson Sphere planet. Now that that's done, we should probably grab the fire ice and the optical grading crystals while we're here. Actually, there's a lot of fire ice. Do we need the hydrogen? Yeah, actually, you know what? We don't. We'll just leave this as it is. We can come back here later if we need anything. For now, let's head back home. After spending, well, maybe a little bit of time AFK and, waiting till the next day, we did a few things in the background. We knocked out most of the research. And when I say most of it, I mean all but the white science and a little bit of this Dyson Sphere stress system. This is the level 4. There's like multiple levels of this, and every time you upgrade it, you get to expand your Dyson Sphere a little bit larger until you can eventually seal in the whole sun. But you'll notice here, everything else is knocked out. We've even got all the upgrades in here, except for the ones that require the white science, which is the final one. White science is not actually that bad. It just requires... It's a combination of all 5 of the previous science plus antimatter, that weird minus symbol thing on the end. And that doesn't seem to be that difficult to get. The white science comes from photons. Those photons come from the ray receivers, and the ray receivers are the things used to harvest energy from the Dyson Sphere. So you just switch them over to photon mode, and you should be able to grab that. We'll play around with photon generation in a bit. But what you'll notice here is, power-wise, we're looking a lot healthier. We're generating 1.37 gigawatts. That's pretty good power generation. The reason we've got that is the Dyson Sphere is just a little bit more complete. We have been expanding it and expanding it and expanding it. However, at the same time, we have also been doing the science, so it's kind of the 2 of them eating into each other's production. What are we looking production-wise? Oh, gravity matrix is finally ramping up again. Yeah, we had a little bit of a cut-off in gravity matrix production. In fact, we had a cut-off in several productions along the way when we ran out of the resources we needed. At one point, we ran out of coal. I had to go to another planet and put down a whole bunch of coal stuff. And we also ran out of these pink crystal things, the optical grading crystals. However, if we zoom out a bit, you'll see we've got ships coming from several of the adjacent systems. There's some coming from Andromeda, and there's another convoy coming back and forth from the black hole planet. They're bringing optical grating crystals from here. We've also got unipolar magnets. We might play around with that in a bit. However, white science. I think white science is the only one we have left to do, so let's maybe churn out just a little bit of that. Hopefully it's not too complicated. I don't think we're going to be... Well, we might go up to the 250 production of it, but I'm thinking let's just play around with some of these photon production facilities. Oh yeah, I covered the top of the map in these. If you want to use these, you got to remember they max out at 12.5 megawatts. That's the maximum amount they can give you. So once you hit that, you have to place down more of them. So that's why I've got so many on the top and bottom of the map. Let's just chuck one of these over to photon generation. And oh wow, that's slow. Oh wow, that's really slow. Is that? I think that just ate into our power production on the whole planet, did it? Maybe. Dear Lord, that's so slow. We need 250 of those. That's going to take a while. Let me do a little bit of playing around here in the background to see how many of these we're going to need. We might need to just beef up Dyson Sphere production so we can do this more aggressively. To give this whole mess a start, we're going to go with these miniature particle colliders. They're the ones that consume the photons and they turn them into antimatter and hydrogen. Now, the hydrogen we're just going to spit out here into the science section. It will get consumed by this, which gets turned into science. Should be a fairly straightforward 1-to-1 ratio, so we shouldn't get a backup. If we do, we'll worry about it later. Down here, we'll go the antimatter, or whatever the hell it's called. Antiphotons? What are these things called again? Antimatter, yes. So the antimatter comes down here. We can combine it with the sciences here once we've finished off the Dyson Sphere stuff. Once this Dyson Sphere stuff is done, we won't have any more need for just doing blue, red, yellow, purple, and green. That will be a little bit while longer, though. Now, for actually making the photons themselves, we have some of these here. Now, I think these will improve over time, and we might want to stack some things in here where you can put in gravitational lenses. Now, this should hopefully speed up the process, though we'll have to see about that. I'll do some experimenting on the side. And we are finally about to knock out the last of the regular research. This is Dyson Sphere stress system, and what this should do is should allow us to, well, where is it? Finally finish off the Dyson Sphere and cover the actual top and bottom. We're almost all the way up to the top, but you see we can't quite seal in the top part there yet. However, once this research finishes, we should be able to do it. We're down to 15 seconds. Perfect. After that, it's going to be all into the infinite science, though honestly, not feeling that motivated on the infinite science front, so it doesn't seem like it's going to help us too much. Plus, this was more... you know what? We'll come back to that. Let's just make sure that we can finish off this Dyson Sphere. Let's see here. Yeah, if we go down to the top... in fact, what if we just try and fill that in? Yeah, there we go. We can just fill all of those sections in now. Alright. And that's Dyson Sphere production completed. That's... well, okay. We have to still fill it all in, but slowly but surely we can do that, and we'd have to ramp up production and stuff, but no motivation for that just yet. Over here, let's just have a quick look at these photon production. This is what allows you to get antimatter, and antimatter... well, antimatter's fun. You can do a couple of things. One is the science, but the other thing you can do with it is you can create antimatter fuel rods. Wow, just... how could I explain this? This is deuterium fuel rod. Deuterium? Yeah, this is 600 megajoules with a 300% bonus to fuel chamber. This is 7.5 gigajoules and 500% to fuel chamber. Meaning you will just recharge so much faster with this in the bank. You know what? Is there any way we could burn off a bunch of power? Actually, we'll do that in a minute. But harvesting these photons has some interesting side effects. For example, here, this here is how much we're getting per second. Well, actually, no, not that one. This one, 2.99 per minute. However, if we were to throw in a gravitational lens on top of that, the gravitational lens will double the production, so we'll go up to 5.82. Now, it takes a long time for those gravitational lenses to burn out, so it's actually might actually be worth it. I'm not sure. I'm going to play around with that. However, another thing you should note, when you place these things down, they actually, the whole thing's network together. So for example, over here we've got 7.26 megawatts. You'll notice they're all at 7.26. However, if we grab, say, this thing over here and we'll plop it down. In fact, let's put down a couple just to make sure it looks more realistic. Yeah, we'll put one there and there. We're going to have to take those out in a minute. And you'll notice these have now dropped to 6.97. They sort of share, they balance the load across all of them. So if you add more, you drain more power, and if you remove some, you'll get some power back. This just means that if you're depending on them for power, which you probably are, placing down too many of them to generate photons will eat into your power generation capacity. So any excess power you get, you can turn into photons, but they are quite slow. It's going to take you a long time to grind up enough of them. At the moment, we're just stockpiling them in there. But I think we've sort of covered pretty much all the mechanics of the game at this point. The only thing would be, well, I sort of want to make a planet dedicated towards just doing Dyson spheres. There's a whole bunch of ramp-up things I want to do, but I kind of want to go back to the start and do things correctly. Now that we've actually got all the way to the end and we know all the mechanics and how they work and what to do with them, I have no interest in really just getting into the... Actually, you know what? Let's just do the mission complete. We might as well finish the mission before we restart. There should always be an endpoint. So, since the research is done, let's turn this entire sucker into... yeah, white science. After some playing around, I think we've got this ready to go. What we're going to do here is dump in all of the sciences plus the antimatter in here. There you go. That actually takes all of them and spits out white science. The white science comes out the sides here, and that we're going to have come down here and go into these labs, which should, in theory, allow us to start researching the final endgame tech, which is mission completed, which, I'm not even sure what it does, but who cares. What the... How's that even starting already? We haven't got any science. Oh, the hash is at the bottom. Alright, fair enough. There we go. Okay, that's slowly but surely getting up to the top. I think the limiting factor is probably the antimatter at the bottom here. It's got the slowest inserter. To help, we have a little bit of a stockpile of antimatter here, but unfortunately that's going to run out really, really quickly. And over here, what we've done is we've thrown on a bunch of gravitational lenses just to speed up the production. Why not? So we've got a whole bunch of gravitational lenses all the way along the outside edge there, all feeding into these and all doubling their production of energetic photons, or what are they called? Critical photons. Fine. That might take a little time though. We've got to get 4,000 antimatter, which I think we've got about 1,000 already. So it'll take a little time. Let's let that run in the background. In the meantime, we'll just keep firing into our Dyson sphere, which... dear lord, that looks so awesome. I've got to make a full-size Dyson sphere, but later. Alright, let's skip this forward a bit and see what the endgame has in store for us. While waiting for the science to finish, we've been doing a little bit of running around to test out these new, what do you call them? Antimatter fuel rods. Unfortunately, I let one into the chamber, and now I can't get rid of it. The problem is, it just generates too much power. It takes forever to go through one of them. I flew to another system and came back again. I warped there, and look at it. It's still like, yep, don't care. Actually, I did that and I accelerated up to 2,000 and did a bunch of other stuff, and no, it just will not burn out fast enough. The thing just has such an incredible fuel capacity. Yeah, I'm going to rush these in future. They are just amazing. Even if you just had one thing getting you photons to make these, they make refueling a non-issue and you don't have to worry about running out of energy anywhere. Plus, your energy levels recharge so much faster. Yes, just all the yes. And that Dyson sphere is actually looking pretty awesome as well. Hey, where were we? Back to the planet, and let's get ready for science production to complete. I think we're only getting about, 60 a minute? Yeah, 65 or something like that. Maybe we could ramp up production maybe just a tad more. And superhero landing, as in faceplant. After doing some trekking about the galaxy, we managed to burn off some of our resources, and this is us running on Deuterium. It's pretty good. Like, there's us flying along, actually chewing through it. You can see the resources being consumed, or the rate of the resources being consumed. Actually, let's speed this up a bit. Yeah, no, that's the maximum speed it's going to be consumed at. So what we'll do is we'll swap that out, and we'll just swap right back over into the antimatter fuel rods. Now let's skip forward a bit until this is burnt out and see how quickly it goes through the antimatter. There goes the last of the deuterium, and then we're onto the antimatter, and can you see it? Look, it's slowly starting to chew through it. It's just incredibly efficient. We need to, like, always be rushing for that. Anyway, I'm going to find myself some spine-formed stalagmite crystals on this planet and start shipping them back home. We ran out of our current ones. And finally, they're down to the last 14 research. I had to run off to another planet to do some other stuff, but back in time to see what this actually does. I'm curious, does this give you an endgame, or is it just going to be the robot telling you, good job, or something? Mission complete. Okay. Okay, so it's like the ending of a TV show.
Congratulations, builder of great civilizations. The primary mission of the Dyson Sphere Program has been successful.
Yeah, whatever. Okay, so what's the plan now? I kind of want to restart from the beginning and do it right, as opposed to this mishmash of everything I threw together. I also sped up the Dyson Sphere production. You know what? Maybe I'll let the Dyson Sphere run in the background for a while. But I suppose the things I learned on this, I learned an awful lot of things, like rush for these towers. These towers here, even the basic ones, will help you out an awful lot. Don't get as much spaghetti as I normally do, just rush straight for these techs. As well as that, Dyson Sphere, maybe start that a little bit earlier because the power income from that is a lot better. To use oil wells. The oil wells, you can just dump those straight into making power. You can get an enormous amount of power out of them, and you don't really need that much oil. So all the excess oil you find on your starting planet, we're definitely going to start burning that for power early on. It'll save us an awful lot of hassle. Also, I'm going to start grinding up rocks to make silicone. You don't need that much silicone to get solar down, and putting down one of these power belts down the middle early on would actually be a really good idea. It really does help you out. I'm sure there's a few other things I'm forgetting, but you know what? I'll worry about that at a later date. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this first look at the game, and good luck.